Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video as always. It's the autumn equinox today, which essentially means the day and the night are the exact same length. It's starting to feel a little bit autumnal. We had quite a cool night last night. I think it was down to 2 or 3 degrees, but it's still quite warm in the sun in the day. It's around 10 degrees at the moment, so it's very comfortable. For this video I'm just out for the afternoon. I've got a brand new wood stove which I'm excited to use for the first time, and just going to cook up some lunch, just a very basic venison stew. Just enjoy some food and being out in the forest in the sun today. So yeah, if that interests you, please stick around and I hope you enjoy the video. If you've followed me for a while on here and Instagram, you'll have seen me use the small X-Boil alcohol stove. I absolutely love that stove. It's become one of my favourite pieces of gear. Just well thought out, very light, very simple to use. I just love it. And basically the company that makes that alcohol stove have decided to make a bigger wood stove called the X-Fire, and they sent me it this week, and I've seen a couple people using it already on Instagram, and I was kind of hoping I might get sent one, and yeah, they reached out and sent me the biggest one. So this is the X-Fire 19. There's also an X-Fire 14, which is just 14 or 19 centimeters, which is the diameter of the stove. But I brought out my bush box from Bushcraft Essentials, which you'll have seen me use too, just for a little bit of comparison for sizes and things. I absolutely love this stove. I've used it so much. It's bomb proof. It really is. But yeah, I'm excited to use this. At the moment, I think this stove might become my main one, but we'll see. So pack size, you can see there's not a huge amount of difference. This pack actually opens up. It's quite a big sort of cover for it, but the actual size of the stove, you know, it's about that. So yeah, not much difference at all. But I'll bring you in a bit closer so you can see the detail of it, and we'll get it set up and have a look. Okay, so we'll open it up and see what we've got. So essentially we've got 3 sections which form the sides. And if you've seen me set up the X-Boil stove, it's the same kind of material, just that thin rolled steel, and it goes together in a similar way. I'll put it together in a second. We've got the base plate, which is slightly thicker steel, which these sections wrap around. And we've got 2 lightweight pegs. These basically go in through, you know, and you can rest pots or your kettle on it. Again, I'll show you in a second. This is like a stand for the stove, just to lift it off the ground. It doesn't actually come standard with the stove. You buy that extra, but it's not too much at all, and I think it's worth it. Another thing I was sent, another optional extra you can get for it, is this grill, which is just designed to sit on the top. Again, doesn't come with like standard with the stove, but you can just buy it in addition. So I'll put this together now. It's very quick and easy. Like I say, the sides just, you know, just clip together like the X-Boil stove, just like that. Hopefully you can see that. Those tabs just slide in, just like that. And that's it. Second. You'll see these little notches on the inside. So they're actually set at 3 different levels, depending on what size of fire you want to have. So you can have it, you know, right down in the bottom, like that. But if you were using like an alcohol stove or something and just using this as like a shelf, you know, you didn't want it so far down in the bottom, you know, you can put it like halfway as well. Hopefully you can see that. And of course you just use these. They just slide in whatever level you want them to be honest. And you know, you can just sit that inside. This pot stand, literally just sits on like that, and there you go. Grill on top. Very quick, very easy, very light. I'm very impressed with it, to be honest, and yeah, excited to use it. So size wise, this is considerably bigger. Can have a much bigger fire. In terms of weights, I'll put them up on the screen, but the bush box with the additional grill bit, the trivets and the bag is about 590 grams altogether. And for all of this, including the 2 pegs and the grill, it's about 520 grams. So I feel like you're getting a lot more wood stove for, you know, a lighter weight, which is quite impressive. So yeah, I'll get a fire going in this one just now, and we'll see how it performs. I'm just going to get a cup of coffee on here first. So now the fire's going, you can just slide these pegs through. Job done. First impressions of the stove, absolutely brilliant. Loads of airflow, no problem at all. I love the size of it. You know, it feels quite big compared to the bush box. I love that it's big enough to, you know, sort of set the kettle inside to really get that heat all around it. It's, yeah, I'm impressed. I can see myself using it quite a bit. Even for the size of the bush box, you can get a decent amount of heat out of it. And I've had some quite chilly nights just using that, and I've been warm enough sitting beside it. So with this, you know, the size that it is, you're going to get, you know, a decent sized fire there. So yeah, very pleased with it. I'm going to get the stew on just now. Like I said, it's very basic. I've just got some venison, potato, carrots, mushrooms, a bit of seasoning and a stock cube, and that's it. For those of you who are not sure what venison is, it's basically deer meat. And the venison I've got today is wild deer meat, and it's actually from Neudart. Neudart Wild Venison reached out to me on Instagram and asked if I wanted to try some of their venison, to which I said absolutely, yes please. And they sent it over last week, and I got some burgers, sausages, diced venison, mince, what else, a couple of steaks as well, some really nice stuff. So that's what I'm using today. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because a lot of people ask me, you know, what can they do for nature restoration, you know, for restoring forests, that kind of thing. And you know, they often ask about charities they can donate to, or you know, planting trees, this kind of thing. But actually, I would argue that one of the best things you can do is eat venison, especially wild venison, and especially from, you know, a community like Neudart, who are, you know, really trying to make a difference in the area that they live. I mean, most of you'll know now, if you've watched me for a while, I've talked about it so often, that, you know, we've got a massive deer problem in Scotland, and it's one of the biggest hurdles we have to restoring our forests and natural habitats. So until we get the deer numbers down, you know, we won't see any significant progress. This venison came from Neudart Wild Venison, and they are part of the community setup over on Neudart. They are basically controlling the deer numbers over there for nature restoration and community benefit and all the other things we've spoke about on this channel. And they have a stalker who will go out and shoot the deer, and they'll be processed locally, and then they sell that venison to the community and a bit wider afield to create some income, which then gets invested straight back into that community. And it's massively important because, you know, any sort of income in these remote communities is useful. It gives people incentive to do the kind of work that they're doing over there. And wild venison is probably one of the most sustainable foods that you can eat. There's not really any negatives to eating wild venison. It's a very healthy meat. Like I say, by reducing the deer numbers, you're helping you know, the landscape itself. And if you're buying it off a local community or a project like that, then you're helping the people that live there too. So I'll put a link in the description to Neudart Wild Venison. Chances are you probably live too far away for them to post to you at the moment. They are trialling delivery a bit further afield in the Highlands, and Fort Augustus, where I am, is part of that trial at the moment. But you know, get online and look for similar projects closer to you. You know, you've got Cairngorm Connect, Venison too, and I'm sure there's, you know, a variety of different things around the country that you can give your money to. Just a vegetable stock cube. I'll just break that up in there. So I'm going to put this on the fire, and I'll probably leave it on a lowish heat for maybe an hour, something like that. And then we'll get stuck in. Right, that's the stew been on for, well, just over an hour now. It's looking pretty good. It's thickened up quite nicely as well, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm just going to serve it up on this plate here, just so it's a bit easier to eat. Very good. Right guys, I think that's me. Short and sweet. The stew was really good. Initial impressions of the stove, also very good. I was tempted to stay out tonight, but through this evening and tomorrow we're supposed to be getting torrential rain. There's a couple of weather warnings, so it's going to be pretty miserable, I think, so that kind of put me off, and I kind of want to get back to watch the South Africa Ireland rugby match too, so it was still nice to have a couple hours in the forest though. But yeah, I'll put links to the X-Boil website where you can get this stove. I'll also put the link for Neudart wild venison, so you can have a read about that if you want to. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.